Hello everyone, I'm Darkside Phil and welcome to another edition of Ask the King. Today is Thursday, October 3rd, 2013, and we've got a ton of questions. In fact, I counted, I got about 25 questions from my forums, from Twitter, and from Facebook that I've all accumulated that we'll be answering in today's episode, okay? And then we're actually going to go to the live stream Q&A, as I am live streaming this on Twitch TV, where I will be answering the questions that were submitted via raffle as we pick them, okay? So, before we get started, I've got a couple of housekeeping things very quickly to talk about, because I know this is the best way to really talk about them. Number one, there's a schedule change this week, a major one, alright? John Rambo originally was going to come on Saturday, and we were going to do Suicide Kings with Grand Theft Auto Online, but if you've been following along with what's been going on with Grand Theft Auto Online this week, you know that there's a lot of problems. Most people can't log in consistently. A lot of people have played the game for hours, then they go to log in, they find out their character's been completely deleted. Alright? I played it on Tuesday. It took me several hours to log in, but eventually I did get to log in, and I got to play some legitimate gameplay for about 45 minutes. And then, when I went to play it yesterday, I couldn't log in at all day. So, at this point, there's no reason for us to try to actually do Suicide Kings as we had planned, because we know that not a lot of people can even log on yet. We're hoping that maybe within a week or two, things will settle, and we'll be able to do it. So, this weekend, no Suicide Kings. It's on hiatus. We're going to try to do it next week. That's the rough timing of what we're going to try to do, okay? Now, that being said, John Rambo will be here, not on Saturday, but he will be here tomorrow, okay? We're going to be doing a new episode of Smart Guys, the first one in 2 weeks, and in addition to that, we're actually going to be doing WWE pay-per-view simulations of the Battleground pay-per-view that's happening this coming Sunday. I know originally we weren't going to do it. We said Suicide King kind of trumps that. But since we're not doing Suicide Kings, we will be simulating that pay-per-view. In addition, we may be doing some other stuff because we know it doesn't take all day to do the pay-per-view sims. Maybe we will do a little try to do some GTA Online just to give John a flavor for what it is. I don't know. We're going to be doing more than that probably, but that's the rough schedule for tomorrow, which then, of course, means that Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I'll probably be splitting my time between Wind Waker HD when I go pick it up and probably Kingdom Hearts, which I still, unfortunately, have not had the time to try to restore my save file. I'm going to try to do that today. So I know Solid Fantasy and a few other people, you guys have been trying to help me out with that. I apologize, I haven't had a chance to do it yet. I'm going to try to do that today, take a save file, put it on a USB or whatever, and get it on my PC and get it going on its way to you so that we can try to get that save file restored and I can continue that playthrough, which a lot of people have like, damn, we really want to see that continue. Okay? Excuse me. Alright, and the next thing, before we start answering questions, this is a huge positive, and this is a huge update for a lot of people, alright? So I already told my stream about it, but I want to tell you guys this as well if you're watching this on YouTube, alright? Huge positive news. My dad, as you know, a little over a year ago, it was about the summer of last year, was laid off from his full-time job of almost 30 years, okay? The same place that I was working, he got laid off from too. The place is in shambles. People are getting laid off left and right. The company's a mess. They're falling apart. And they're probably, quite honestly, going to go out of business, at least that division of the company, okay? He's been looking everywhere for a job, and as of, recently, he has had no luck at all. The jobs that were in that kind of same field, the only one that was interested offered him a job, but he would have had to move to Canada, which he couldn't do. My mom, unfortunately, isn't in any condition to be making a major move like that. My dad would have had to basically fly to Canada every single week to work there during the week and would only be home for weekends. But with my mom, she's getting older now. She's got back problems. She actually has a similar back problem to mine, only it's much worse. She needs him around. So he couldn't do it. And all the other jobs he applied for, okay, basically told him he was overqualified. You're way overqualified for this job. We want someone younger who's less qualified. And I'll be honest, basically so they could push that person around and they realize that, my dad could just say, fuck this. I'm better than this if they were mistreating him. They're looking for people that they can control. So no one really gave him a second shot after their initial interview. The good news right now, he's gotten hired. He's got a new job. It's local, so his commute is very, very short. It's a job that is very similar to what he used to be doing. It's a different industry, but it's still continuous improvement, quality assurance work, which is what he used to do. And the other good news is that he's already cashed in his retirement from being with that other company for almost 30 years. So he's already got some income coming in on the side, combined with this new salary, or I'm sorry, it's going to be hourly, but this new money he's going to be making, it's going to be enough. He's basically going to be making roughly what he was making before. So he's back on his feet for the first time in a year and a half. And that is a major success story, because there's so many people out there who can't, especially that are my dad's age. My dad's, nearly in his 60s. And no one's looking for people that old. I'll be honest, age is actually a factor that's going against people right now. The older you are, the less people want to hire you, because they worry that you're a liability and stuff like that. So I just want to say, first of all, thank you to everyone who this past year was following up on my dad. Several people have asked me, how's he doing, what's going on. This is the first good news I've had for you. So there it is. I wanted to share that with everyone, and I want to say thank you to everyone who did care and was following up over the course of this past year. It's a great story, and hopefully things work out. The thing is that he has like a 3 to 4 month trial period where they have him there, and then if they like what he's doing, then they'll hire him as a full-time employee. But right now, he's considered like a trial basis. But yeah, it's great. As of the end of this month, he'll be working there, and I'm feeling great about it. It's a weight off of all of our shoulders as a family, because let's be honest, it's not like if he had no money, you know what I mean? If he had no income coming in, I couldn't support him. I couldn't. I'm trying to currently just make ends meet here and find a way to maybe move out of Connecticut so I can start saving more money in the next year. And so there was no way. And even if I had offered to help him, he's the kind of person he would have been like, he wouldn't have accepted any kind of financial help that I was trying to give him. That's the kind of person he is. So this is great. Like I said, it's a weight off our shoulders. It's a great positive thing. And thank you to anyone who was curious about that and followed up about it. Great news. Very good. Now let's actually move on with Ask the King, okay? Okay, so Ask the King. Obviously, this is the show where I answered your questions. We had lots and lots of questions submitted, although admittedly, they came in a little bit slow this month because everyone was so busy with Grand Theft Auto, and it's all anyone talked about for the past month. Grand Theft Auto, Grand Theft Auto, Grand Theft Auto. I kind of had to remind you all via Twitter and said, hey, listen, I need more questions. All of a sudden, I got a flood of more questions, and I got lots of questions, good ones for this month's episode. So let's get started, okay? All right, as usual, I'm going to be reading the questions off of my laptop right over here, so that's why I'll be going back to that periodically during the course of the episode, okay? So the first question is actually a question that, it's a collective question. Everyone asked me this question this week, okay? And I like dozens of people, so I want to address it, all right? People are asking me, what do you think about the situation with the United States government right now? It's shut down. Now, if you don't live in the United States of America, you probably don't even know about the situation, or you don't understand what it means. So here's what happened. We have three branches of government. There's a presidential branch, judicial branch, and executive branch, but it's the president, which I said presidential, judicial branch, and then you've got the branch that is the House of Representatives, the Congress, all that. It's the many representatives that we elect to basically make our laws, okay? What's happened right now is that our government is at an impasse on a certain issue. The issue is health care. The President Barack Obama, drafted this plan, and I don't have I'm not going to give you any opinions about my political opinions. This is just me honestly answering about what's going on in the United States right now. President Barack Obama has this plan that he has to try to give health care to the masses. Right now, there's an appalling number of people in the United States of America that have no health care, all right? They have no plans. They literally have to just go to the hospital and hope that someone pays it for them because they have no money and they have no insurance to pay for anything, okay? So he instituted this mandatory plan where everyone will have health care for supposedly an affordable price. Now, he is a Democrat, all right? There are two major political parties in the United States, the Democrats and the Republicans. The Republican Party is staunchly opposed to this plan. They feel the plan isn't going to work, that the plan is anti-employer, that basically, employers now are being forced to pay health care for their employees, that now there's going to be huge negative effects on the employees of America because of this, and the employers of America, the companies themselves. They feel that there should be a different alternative to health care, all right? And so this issue has been a hotbed because technically this law, they're calling it Obamacare, even though that's not the real name of it. So I think it's the Affordable Care Act, ACA, went into effect as of, I believe it was either Monday or Tuesday of this week. It was already signed into law. The lawmakers voted and voted for it, and it went into law. However, the Republicans are basically being sore losers. And I hate to say that. I'm not anti-Republican and I'm not Democratic or anything like that. I don't want anyone to think that. But the Republicans are being sore losers and basically saying, well, you know what? We still disagree with it, so much so to the point that we're just not going to work. We refuse to come to work. We're not going to approve a budget so that our country can continue to move forward. We're not going to do anything because we're so opposed to this act, this healthcare act, that it's the number one issue in the country for us. And until the other side, the Democrats, agree to compromise with us to change it to something that makes more sense for us from our perspective, we're not going to do anything. It's basically a way to say, all right, it's a walkout, it's a protest, it's like a strike, so to speak. They say we refuse to work. All right, we're not going to do anything else that's required of us until this issue is hashed out. Now, the big thing of contention right now is that it's already a law. People can already go and register for it, and it's done, it's in place. And President Obama is basically saying, well, listen, it's in place, it's already gone, so you guys are just sore losers at this point. I don't understand why you're basically up in arms. You better get back to work because basically America's falling apart now because the government's not operating. And what's happened is all national monuments are now closed. All national parks are now closed. All government-related jobs are now closed. So there's entire industries based off of the U.S. government. The military, defense, all that stuff is being shut down because the Republicans and the Democrats can't find a way to compromise on this issue. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not all Republicans that are the problem here. President Obama supposedly, and I don't know, I'm not up there at Capitol Hill, supposedly is also saying, I refuse to compromise. My bill passed, tough shit. If you don't like it, tough titties. Just deal with it, and I'm not going to compromise. And that's really, it's basically like this. Two rocks being smashed the fuck together like this. Now, last time I checked, when two rocks are smashed together, one rock doesn't magically beat the other rock, and then all of a sudden everything is hunky-dory. The rocks smash together until they wear each other down to the point where it's just physical violence and everything gets destroyed, okay? So something's got to give right now. And eventually something will give, because if the U.S. government is not operating for several weeks, you've got people who work government jobs that are losing money. They're actually on furlough right now, which means they're not allowed to go to their job and work. They're not getting paid. Their entire industries, there's actually the military industry, people who make helicopters, people who make guns, people who make these things for the military are now on furlough. They're not making anything because no one's paying the bills. The government refuses to pay them. Okay? There's other industries, federal assistance programs. I saw on the local news last night in Connecticut, there's these places in Connecticut that are like daycare, federally funded daycare for single moms and single dads so they can go to work and someone will watch their kids. And of course, if they're a single mom or dad, you probably can't afford daycare. They fucking shut down. So those people can't work now. They're out of work. And they might get fired from their jobs because they have to take leaves from their jobs to watch their kids. So the government, even though the issue for them is healthcare and we're going to butt heads and we're going to be stubborn, aren't being realistic. They're not looking at the line level person who they're affecting, the common citizen, and saying we need to fucking make a compromise immediately because we're hurting these people. They think that they're helping by arguing on this healthcare issue when in effect they're killing the American citizen right now. And right now, I'm not in support of the Republicans or the Democrats. I think they need to fucking get off their high horses, stop being like stubborn little kids, which is literally what they are. They're being stubborn little children, and they need to fucking wise the fuck up and say it's not about us. It's not about us. Yes, we're elected officials. Yes, we have our own opinions and we're stubborn in what we believe. But the fucking government is not about us. It's about the people. And our actions right now are hurting the common citizen of America. We need to step the fuck up, man up, and find a compromise immediately so that we don't hurt people. And this is not what they're doing. They actually are holding themselves above the common American citizen, saying that their beliefs and ideals are more important than the common person, and that's wrong. And that's what's the problem with the American government. The common senator, the common, lawmaker has become, they think they're like a celebrity now. What I say goes. I'm smarter than everyone else. What I believe is the God-honest truth, no matter what anyone else tells me. And so I'll shut down the whole fucking government if I can't have my way. What kind of government is that? That you're hurting the line-level American citizen because you think you're smarter than them. Fuck you. I'm saying that to the entire fucking U.S. government right now. fuck you. You're not better than us. You exist because of us, and it's your job to make sure that everything runs. Right now, you're failing at your job. And the major thing that everyone's kind of up in arms about right now is that people don't realize, a lot of people don't realize this, the United States government, even though it's shut down, all those line-level citizens, they can't go to work. They're not getting paid. But guess what? Your United States senators and elected congressmen are getting paid because they're on salary. So even though they're not going to work, they're refusing to work, they're refusing to approve budgets, and they're refusing to do anything that they're responsible of doing, they're still going to get paid. But you won't if you're in a government job. What kind of a fucked up government do we have in this country? Seriously, how does that? They can just ignore their job, kick up their fucking feet like this. Well, I didn't get my way, so I'm not working this week. Fuck you. And they go like this, and money keeps coming. Huh? Can you name me one other job in the United States of America, in the world, where you cannot do your work and still get paid? If I don't make you guys videos and content, I don't get paid. If the guy who works at McDonald's doesn't flip the burgers and make the fries, he doesn't get paid. What the fuck kind of a fucked up government do we have where they cannot work and get paid? Huh? Yeah, I know. So that's the fucked up situation right now with the United States government, all right? My thoughts is, like I said, I'm not on either side of the aisle. I don't agree necessarily with either side. I just need them to make a fucking compromise so that the common person can go out there and keep working and get the assistance they need and have the government function and not have this bullshit go down where we're all better than you and because of our ideals, fuck you, we'll just not go to work. It's childish. It's extremely immature. If anything, it's exposing a giant problem with the United States government, and hopefully we can do something to fix it in the future. Oh, okay. So there you go. Enough with the politics. That's why I did that first. I wanted to get that out of the way. Now let's move on to other stuff, okay? Okay. So our first real question is from Captain Fireworks 2292. And he says, Phil, do you ever think that maybe when you retire, you can get into politics? Oh my God, I didn't know that was the next question. All right, he says, when you retire, will you get into politics and maybe show those politicians what progress is while on the side you still enjoy video games? All right, here's the thing. I will never be a politician. I can tell you that right now. And it's not that I would never have a desire to. It's not that I don't think that I could help people. It's that, unfortunately, I have not led a life that would allow me to be elected. Let me explain. The way that politics works in the United States is that anyone can announce that they're a candidate for anything. Right now I could say I'm a candidate for the mayor of my town, okay? Problem is, it's all based off of this, and it's based off of who you know. If you don't have money to finance your campaign, you can't run ads on TV. You can't get your foot in the door at debates and get articles written in the newspaper about what you think and what is your stance on certain issues, okay? So without the financial support, number one, you'll never get off the ground. Problem is, to get financial support, you need people who are going to sponsor you. Guess how people sponsor you? By you pushing their agendas. And this is one of the major reasons why the US government is fucked up in the way it is. You've got major corporations that say, oh, I'll get you elected, you know, I'll give you lots of money so you can run a great campaign. But by the way, once you're in power, you got to make sure that our company is great, we're not getting attacked by the government, that you get tax breaks for us, that you do all these things and you push all of our agendas, our selfish agendas. That's literally how the US government works, and that's how lobbying works. And we've talked about lobbying before, all right? So the problem is, for me, number one, you guys know me, all right? You know that I'm never going to put up with that shit. When someone comes to me and says, oh, I'll give you $1 million for your campaign, but when you get on Capitol Hill, you have to push my agenda, I'm going to say, go fuck yourself. Say, you give me the money because you support me, because you know who I am as a person, you know I'm a genuine person, you know when I get into office, I'm going to do the best job that I could possibly do for the common American person, all right? And you already know my ideals and what I stand for, and that's why you're going to sponsor me. Not that you're going to sponsor me in exchange for me to push your agenda when I get on Capitol Hill. I would never accept a dime. That's the problem. I would never accept a dime to run a campaign because I'm not like, you know that, I'm a genuine person. I'm not like that. So I would never get anywhere. I would never have the financial support to be able to actually run for a governmental office. That's number one. Number two, unfortunately, as you know, I have, let's say about 20, 30,000 videos on the internet, okay? And they're all over the place. And let's be honest, this year in particular, the wave of negativity all surrounding me, you search for DSP Gaming and all you see is hate-filled videos from little bratty fucking kids who are trying to get views on YouTube, alright? And, you know, that is going to be out there forever. Regardless of if I delete all my YouTube shit and all that, it's going to be out there forever. So the second that I tried to run for office, don't you think that that negativity would immediately be turned into a crazy smear campaign against me? Oh my god, look at this, DSP's a racist. Here's a joke he made from a playthrough in 2010, and it talks about Mexicans, you know? And DSP, he does this and does that, and he, you know, all the same shit you hear already, that's the kind of shit that they put into a smear campaign to make sure that someone could never get elected. With the amount of shit that's out there about me, and being that I'm such a real person, I say this all the time, I really feel I'm one of the realest people on the internet. I tell you it like it is, and I really don't hide anything from you. It would just be nuts. You'd have so much shit coming out about me that, you know, of course, a little grain of truth. Sure, maybe I made a racial comment or a racist joke, but it was a joke. But that's it. The common person who doesn't know who I am, they'll see that and immediately get turned off. And that's what's happened on YouTube this past year, quite honestly. The common YouTube viewer who maybe doesn't just watch all of my content, but just never heard of me or just getting into YouTube, learning about me, the first thing they see is all this negativity, and they immediately get turned off and they don't watch my content. So it's the same thing. They'll see a wave of negativity and immediately won't vote for me. So I'm pretty much never going to get into politics, you know? Even if I ever wanted to, there would be no viable way for me to do it just because of the way that U.S. politics work. It wouldn't work, okay? Okay, next question. It's from Industrial Gamer, and he asks, I was wondering if you'll be playing current-gen games next year after the next gen has already kicked off. Games such as Murdered, Sole Suspect, and Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2 are current-gen only titles. Will you be supporting the few current-gen games that will be released after the next gen? Also, will you be supporting DLC for current-gen games? So for example, games like BioShock Infinite, The Last of Us, Metro Last Light will all have story-driven downloadable content released after the next gen. Will you be playing them? And does that answer also apply to multiplayer DLC? Okay. Well, first off, yes, I am getting the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. I am. All right. I'll be getting new games that are coming out as cross-platform games. I will be getting on the next gen. All right. Just makes sense. However, that doesn't mean I'm abandoning the previous gen. No, I'm not going to immediately go toss my Xbox 360 out the window. I'm not going to smash my PS3 on my knee. No, I'm still going to have these things. So if there are games that I'm interested in that are, you know, that gen, they're only going to be on those consoles, which is understandable. There's games that have been in development for years before the PlayStation 4 or Xbox One were even announced, so of course they're going to be on the current gen, all right? Yes, I will be checking out those games. He actually mentioned a few right there that I'm very interested in. Castlevania Lords of Shadow 2, Murdered Sole Suspect. Both of these seem pretty interesting, and yeah, I'll be checking them out. There's no reason for me to skip something just because it's not on the next gen. I mean, that's preposterous. He asks about DLCs and expansions. Yes, I am very interested in the story-based BioShock Infinite DLC, in the Last of Us story-based DLC that'll be coming out. I'm very interested in those. When those come out, I will be playing those, even though they are, you know, this current gen and not next gen. I'll be getting those DLCs on those consoles. I've saved those games, in particular, all year. Haven't traded them in just for that sole purpose. So yes, I will be checking them out. Now, the part of the question that's a little different is the multiplayer DLC. That I don't know. A lot of the times, like for example, The Last of Us supposedly has a multiplayer DLC coming up. I'm not interested in it. You know what I mean? Like, I played the multiplayer, I understood what it was, I reviewed the game. I don't have any desire to suddenly go back and play the multiplayer of that game because there's a new map. And this is what I don't get. Like, these get Call of Duty. Oh, you gotta get the season pass because there's 4 map packs coming out. It's a fucking map. You're paying like 30, 40 bucks for a fucking map. It's not like the Zombies, Call of Duty Zombies, where it's a different game mode and it's different interactivity and a different story every time you get a DLC. No, it's just a fucking expansion pack. And that's what they're doing with a lot of these games that have multiplayer. They're just tacking on an expansion pack that, quite frankly, I'm not interested in. So in that case, I probably won't be checking out a lot of the expansion pack multiplayer DLCs, but if it's story-based, I probably will. Okay? All right, next question. Hello, Phil. I was watching some of your old videos when you used to rant, and I absolutely love them. But I stumbled upon a channel update video of yours that you did more than 2 years ago, and I actually noticed that the word trademark was in the title of this video. So here's my question. Since people like to make videos that are giving you a bad reputation on YouTube and the internet, and it's your pure hateful content towards you, could you, have you, and will you use the fact that you own a trademark to get rid of those videos and channels? And that's from Robert's We. And it's not just him that's asked this. Many people over the past several months, since I have addressed the negativity, has said, Phil, you know, you have, number one, copyright hold on all the videos that you upload to YouTube, and number two, you own the trademark on your name. So technically anyone who even uses a video with your content is violating both copyright and trademark law. Why don't you take them down? And the bottom line is this. There's different ways to handle negativity. I absolutely right now can get up and stomp my feet and be angry. Oh no, there's people who are making fun of me. Oh no. And say, that's it. I'm going to take legal action against them. And I could right now pick up my phone and I could call my lawyer and I could say, that's it. We got to get these motherfuckers, put in 100 copyright claims right now and trademark claims against people on YouTube and get them down and fuck this. And, you know, but that's not really the way to go about it, in my opinion, all right? As a person who's been around the block, it seems like when you attack negativity with more negativity, it doesn't work. The best way to attack negativity like this is to focus on the positive. The fact that I still have a following on YouTube and Twitch. Despite the fact of all the bullshit that's out there, I still have people who know who I am as a person, who give me the benefit of the doubt, who watch my content and have fun regardless of the fact that there may be, oh no, there's 40 trolls who came in and thumbs down the video. Who gives a shit? You're still watching the video and enjoying the content, and that's what matters, okay? And that's why I'm just making new content on a daily basis and pushing forward, and that's it. There's no reason for me to be addressing every video that comes out and flagging and all the bullshit. The bottom line is, I could do that. Right now, I could call my lawyer, and I could have a team of people on it. But the time and effort it would take in versus the fact that these people are just going to continue to do it because they see that they got a rise out of me, it's not worth my time. And the bottom line is that's all it is. People are trying to ride this wave of negativity, not a wave of positivity. It's the antithesis of that, actually, when you think about it. When a couple of years ago I said, I'm just going to ride this wave of positivity, this wave of success. These people are riding the wave of negativity, all right? Because they see it's a fad now, it's popular. And if I address it, and if I do stuff like that, and I do, you know, flagging people, which I could immediately, right now, there's a video that went up today, I could get it taken down like this. I'm not even kidding you, I could call my lawyer and be done. But there's no reason to, because I don't care. I'm not going to be petty little, like them. I'm not going to be a petty little person. Oh no, I'm so upset about DSP. No, I'm going to make creative content on a daily basis, push it forward for you, and stay positive, and that's all you can do. The fact that I'm not addressing it, it irks these people who make the videos because like I'm not getting a rise out of them. Damn, I really wish that he would have made it, addressed it, and then people would have rushed to my video and gave me massive popularity for it. I'm not doing that anymore, and guess what? People are getting pissed off because they're like, damn it, I'm making these videos and no one cares anymore. So let these group of people, you know who they are, you know, it's several thousand idiots. Let them continue to make their own content on a daily basis, waste their own fucking time, and circle jerk each other. Because that's all it is. It's a big negativity circle jerk of a bunch of miserable fucking people who can't make creative content, can't get noticed for anything positive, and so they turn it to the wave of negative. So fuck them. Let them do what they want. I'm not going to waste my time with legal battles and all this shit to get it taken down. Let them do what they want. And it's eventually going to die out. That's the thing. Once they realize, oh no, I can't get a rise out of Phil anymore, poof. It's going to go away. It's going to take some time, but it's eventually going to happen. I'm just going to keep pushing forward and doing what I'm doing on a daily basis. It's the only way to attack negativity in life. Okay? All right, one more question, and I'm actually going to take a short break. All right. This question is from Sattler96? Sattler96, okay? And he says, hey Phil, I want to know how you feel about Ben Affleck being Bruce Wayne or Batman, oh boy, in the next Batman-Superman crossover movie coming out in 2015. In my opinion, I don't have a problem with it, and I have faith in him to do it since he's been signed on to be him. Several more times. I don't know what that means. I think all the haters are going too far with this when they say that Batman is dead to me, and now they're making internet petitions to try to make him stop being the Batman. I think that he's matured as an actor since The Town and Argo. I just want to know how you feel about this. Well, first of all, unlike all those insane fanboys, I love Batman. I think he's a great character. I like the Bruce Wayne Batman dichotomy. I've been a fan of the comics. I read the comics at one point. I love the animated shows that DC puts out, and I liked the movies. So I am a fan of the Batman. But you notice, I'm not up in arms. I'm not ripping my shirt like Hulk Hogan, ripping it off and saying, I'm never going to watch Batman again. All right, listen. First of all, when you see something like this, you have to say a couple things. You say, take a look at the movie that this is going to be a sequel of. This is actually going to be a sequel to the Man of Steel movie that came out earlier this year. Most people who saw the Man of Steel said that wasn't Superman. This is a weird movie. It's a weird take on the character. It's not the traditional DC Comics Superman. So initially you have to take that and sit with a grain of salt and say, oh, so if they're going to bring Batman into the mix, it's probably not going to be the traditional DC Comics Batman either. It's going to be some reimagining of the character, something different. Now, I do think there are people out there that are just going absolutely nuts because, oh no, it's Ben Affleck. He was in that horrendous Daredevil movie, you know what I mean? And that's left such a nasty, bad taste in everyone's mouth ever since Ben Affleck did Daredevil a decade ago. Because I'll be honest, the movie was terrible. The person who made that movie had no creative idea of what the character was about, didn't stick to anything in the comics whatsoever, and blew it. Just completely fucking blew it. The movie was garbage, all right? Is that Ben Affleck's fault? I don't think so. I think Ben Affleck was hired to do a role. He did the role he was hired to do. The director told him what to do. He did it. And the movie sucked dick. So is that Ben Affleck's fault? I don't think so. I would tell you this. I don't think it was his horrible acting that ruined the movie. It was the writing of the movie. The movie was crap. The plot, everything. The script was garbage. Okay? So now, a decade later, they signed him on to be Batman. Everyone's up in arms. He's going to ruin the Batman franchise now for everyone because he's now going to be the new Batman. What I have to say is this. If you remember, way back in the 1980s, when Michael Keaton was signed on to be Batman in the original Tim Burton Batman movie, oh my God. You should have seen, back then it was just as bad, because back then there was no internet, so it was all over the news. People were doing freaking fan clubs of hate against Michael Keaton. He was in Mr. Mom. You can't have Mr. Mom as Batman, and he's Beetlejuice as Batman. What is this? It was insanity, absolute insanity. If you want my honest opinion, I actually think that Michael Keaton nailed the Batman character when it comes to the comics better than anyone's done yet. Because the way he portrayed the character, he was this crazy, eccentric Bruce Wayne. That's how it was a cover. Remember, he's really the Batman. He's this hardcore, pissed-off person who's really a good fighter, and he fights people, and he's crazy. He's Daredevil kind of, human feats to stop crime. But his cover is that he's Bruce Wayne. And the way that Michael Keaton portrayed Bruce Wayne, he's this eccentric billionaire, he's into women, he's boozing, he's this, he's that, he's a little bit crazy because he's rich, he thinks he's invincible, but it was a cover. That wasn't the real person. It was the dichotomy between the Bruce Wayne cover and the Batman reality, all right? I think he did it well. And I think that it was lost when they started switching actors around. They completely lost that. Like, there was no more to split between Bruce Wayne and Batman. They were the one and the same person. And then, of course, you had the Christian Bale Batman. That was a completely different take. Yes, he did have kind of that cover, okay, but then you get the grunting, tell me where Dent is, and all that bullshit that, like, what the fuck was that about? And I really like the Michael Keaton Batman. I do. So there's a perfect example of someone who you never thought from his previous experience could do this role. Now, if you're talking about Ben Affleck in particular, I really like Ben Affleck when he's in a movie about Boston. You want to know why? Because he's from Boston. He actually has a Boston accent that he's gotten rid of for the other movies that he's in, and he knows about Boston. He knows about the mentality, the culture of that area. And so when he does movies about that, he hits them spot on. The town, boom. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was born for that freaking role. Other movies that people seem to give him credit for, I don't really see it. Like Argo, I don't think he did good acting in that movie. Honestly, I don't think the role needed a good actor. I think that any male lead could have done exactly what he did in that movie because that character really didn't have a lot of real, there was no diversity in how he had to act. There was no real, like, crazy mood changes or anything. There was no complexity to the character. In fact, it was the supporting cast, if anything, that I think made that movie what it was. He was just there as a placeholder. So for someone that's, I saw Argo, he was amazing. I'm like, what movie did you watch? He didn't really even do much acting in that movie. It was him just going through the motions while everything kind of unfolded around him. So I'm on the fence. Will he do it? I'm not a hater of Ben Affleck. I don't think, oh, he's horrible and he's going to ruin the movie. At the same time, I'm not 100% convinced he can do a good job. I think he's kind of in that Michael Keaton position, all right? He's got a body of work. Some people love it, some people hate it. Or is he going to do a good job in this role? And it's all going to depend on, ultimately, the script. What is the script? Is the script going to be well written, or is it going to have him acting like a cartoonish asshole? Who knows? So don't flip out about, Ben Affleck or any actor being in a particular role, all right? Take it with a grain of salt and understand from what they've done in the past, it may become something else. We'll have to see. Honestly, I didn't see Man of Steel. Until I see it, I can't give you a judgment on what I think the movie was or how, this is going to happen with the Batman-Superman crossover, okay? All right. So that's it for part 1 of Ask the King, episode 37. I'm going to take a short break now. I'm actually going to refill my drink and come back. We're going to answer. We have many, many more questions to get to, okay? If you're watching this on Twitch TV, just stick around. I'll be back after a short commercial break. If you're watching this on YouTube, head over to part 2, which should be live shortly or is live already, all right? So thanks, everyone. I'll be right back. Stick around.